Welcome back. And so to Tommy the Duke Morrison and Carl Williams. Morrison is best remembered for outboxing Ray Mercer for 3 or 4 rounds and then running out of steam and being stopped in the 5th, that fight for the WBO heavyweight title. Since then, he showed plenty of character in coming back, character enough to fight on against Joe Hipp with a broken jaw and hand trouble. Hipp he stopped eventually in the 9th round. Since that fight, Morrison has blown away an out-of-shape Marshall Tillman, which we saw on ringside a couple of weeks back, and now finds himself up against Carl the Truth Williams. Williams, you may remember, gave Larry Holmes 15 hard rounds back in May '85 before losing on points, and you remember too his 1-round loss to Mike Tyson in 1988. Since then, he's won 4, lost 2 with 1 no decision, and if he's in the mood and fit, he can give any man trouble, so Morrison better be wary. If Williams wins, he's definitely back in the big time.
Yes, but it's a pretty big if, quite honestly, Gary. Carl the Truth Williams has rather had his limitations exposed, though he is on a bit of a roll at the moment against lower grade opposition. Making his way to the ring is Tommy the Duke Morrison, who has been much hyped as yet another white heavyweight hope. But that punishing defeat he had against Ray Mercer left all sorts of question marks against him. But like Williams, he's been winning plenty of fights and may be ready to step up again. He says he's improved. There's been hand trouble. Of course, his jaw was broken as well. And you wondered really whether he could possibly come back from that Mercer defeat. But he has done. Give him credit, the man from Kansas City, who claims to be distantly related to John Wayne, though there's always been a bit of doubt about that, quite honestly. But it's not a bad sales pitch, is it? Interesting fight. Carl Williams has been around the top. He was well beaten by Mike Tyson in 1 round. Controversial stoppage on that occasion, 1st round. And he's been in with some pretty big names. Lost to Mike Weaver in a couple of rounds. Went the full distance with Larry Holmes back in 1985 for the IBF heavyweight title. But into his 30s now, Carl Williams, so time is running out for him. Plenty of money waiting for Tommy Morrison if they can get him up to the really top level and convince all the doubters that they're wrong, but there's work to do in that department. Now, while we wait for the Elvis Presley music to stop in the build-up, the fight is being kept waiting. Let's check the tail of the tape. Williams, as you can see, is 9 years older. He's taller, weighs 3 pounds less, and Williams with a 5-inch reach advantage there. 83 inches to 78 for Tommy Morrison. I must say I had my doubts about Morrison when I saw him in with Rudy Vauline of the Soviet Union, as it was, and he outboxed him completely until rather bottling it in the 5th round. That's the rules. 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and no standing 8 count. The rest of it all fairly standard Nevada state rules in Reno. Morrison has earned pretty well, though, and has had a fair old publicity machine working overtime behind him from the word go. He's been training very, very hard indeed back in Kansas City, doing sprints and distance runs and sometimes cycling and swimming too, all on the same day. And in between time, he says he looks at tapes and works on technique. So will that be enough, though, to get him back to somewhere near the top? Those are the judges, all from Nevada. So let's get the ring announcements now from that very distinctive MC, Michael Buffer.
Gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, where tonight Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, along with the undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, in association with the Reno Sparks Convention and Visitors Authority, present professional boxing in the heavyweight division for your entertainment. This first bout, the 3 judges assigned by the state of Nevada, scoring the bout on a 10-point must system. The judges are Bill Graham, Herb Santos, and Bert Clements. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, Reno, Nevada's own referee Mills Lane. And now, ladies and gentlemen, man your battle station, 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with red trim, weighing in at an even 225 pounds. He comes to us tonight from White Plains, New York, and brings an excellent professional record of 26 victories, 20 by KO, against 5 defeats. He has won no decision. He's one of the top-ranked and well-known heavyweights in the world today. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl the Truth Williams.
But he is 33 years old now.
Ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red and black stars and stripes trim, weighing in at 228 pounds, fighting out of Kansas City, ranked number 6 in the world by the International Boxing Federation with an outstanding record of 34 victories, 30 by KO, only 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Tommy the Tooth Morrison.
And he's won his last 6 fights, all in 1992,
if he goes
Morrison.
right here, I'm not going to call it low. If he goes right there, I'm not going to call it low. Okay, we've already had your instruction in the dressing room. I've got a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself and... Wait a minute, come back here. Come back here. Lean back. Lean back.
Well, Morrison doesn't want to hear the rest of it.
Protect yourself at all times. Any questions here? Any questions here? Let's get it on.
Well, he almost denied Mills Lane a chance to use his catchphrase there of "let's get it on, Tommy Morrison," by walking away halfway through. I'm not really sure that fighters really listen, but it's all part of the staging of big professional boxing. Morrison then in those black kind of glitzy shorts. And Carl the Truth Williams with the big reach advantage, remember. Good behind his jab and can whip in decent right crosses as well.
All right, come on, watch out. Man, come on.
The referee Mills Lane, by the way, is a judge right here in Reno. Morrison throwing a punch there after the referee had told them to break. Gets in with a left hook, and look at that, he's got Williams down. Straight away. Left hook to the side of the temple, and in the first minute of the contest, Carl the Truth Williams finds out that the truth hurts a bit. Well, here's Morrison on his way here to a sensational win. And it's been a tough opening 90 seconds or so for Mills Lane, having to dive in there and nearly catching a punch. Morrison really letting go with those left hooks. Having said that, he looked very, very good for 2 or 3 rounds against Ray Mercer before Mercer absolutely destroyed him.
Get off that neck, Williams. Come on, get off that neck. Come on. Punch out. 2 hands are free.
Williams got him with a good left to the body there. Back came Morrison there with a fast left hook of his own. Good opening round.
Come on, ahead.
Morrison very busy in 1992 with those 6 straight wins as he rebuilt after the Mercer shot. And he's starting off here as if he really means some business. I think it's fair to say that if it hadn't been for that Mercer defeat, probably Morrison would have got his title shot by now anyway.
Get off that neck, come on.
He's certainly one of the most marketable heavyweights around. Whether he's one of the best,
Get off that neck, come on.
well, the jury is still very much out. A lot of people don't think so. There's Carl the Truth Williams, and he must have thought halfway through that round that he was heading for a similar finish to the one he had against Mike Tyson when he was blown away inside a round. Much to his disgust, Randy Newman was the referee who stopped it on that occasion. Here's what happened here. Left hook, and there's the left hook that did the damage to the side of Williams' temple, and it knocks him off balance. He wasn't too badly shaken up by it, to be honest. Good punch. And a big psychological blow as well for Morrison to get his man on the floor in the opening round. Second round, Tommy Morrison from Kansas City and Carl Williams from White Plains, New York. Williams getting his fast jab going at the start of the second. Corner have obviously told him he needs to get that punch home more. Recently, Carl Williams has beaten Jimmy Lee Smith on a stoppage, beat the former world cruiserweight champion Ozzy Ocasio on points. He lost to Jerry Jones, beat Marshall Tillman in 2, win over Kimmel Odom, the journeyman, but lost to Tim Witherspoon on points. That's his recent record.
Come on, push your way free, come on.
26 wins, 5 defeats, 1 no decision. That's the Williams record. Beat Bert Cooper in 1987. Stopped him in 8 rounds. And a points win too over James Tillis when Tillis was not shot.
Get off that neck. Get off the back of that neck, come on. Punch out.
So it would be a decent scalp for Morrison, should he claim it here. It's good punching from Williams, who stepped it up in this second round, switching the attack from head to body quite effectively there. Morrison all the time looking for his trademark left hook. First round winner last time out against Marshall Tillman. Little warning for Williams from the referee. Much better round this second for Williams, but look at that left hook. And he felt Morrison's power again there. There's no doubt about it. The man they call the Duke has got the greater punch power in this fight. It looks that way anyway. He's had Williams down in the first, and that left hook rocked him back in the second as well. Other than that punch from Morrison, it's not been a bad round at all, though, for Williams. He did much, much better there.
Remember, 772, 775, 752. Okay.
2 rounds gone here. And Tommy Morrison, and he was caught by that left hook of Carl Williams. There, look at that, and they both landed simultaneously with left hooks. And it was almost a question of the two of them going down simultaneously almost there. They were certainly both rocked back. Third round. The black trunks of Tommy Morrison. Morrison was given this big build-up in 1989. He recorded no fewer than 19 wins in one calendar year. And he's got Williams down again. Second knockdown. He'll have the mandatory 8 count. But Morrison here senses victory. Williams trying to tie him up and buy some time with a head to clear. Williams coming back with a couple of sharp punches off the ropes himself, though. I think his head has cleared now. No doubt that Morrison can punch, but we just wonder whether he might be a wee bit chinny, as they say himself, whether his own punch resistance is that good. He's certainly stalking Williams here. Two knockdowns already for Tommy Morrison. Oh, he's got him again with two fierce punches to the head, left and right. Morrison is going for broke. He's going for the finish in the third. If he wants to do it, he's got 3/4 of a minute from now. Williams using all his experience there to just keep it close. Deny Morrison the leverage for his shots. He's doing it again too, trying to tie up his arms. Good right hand. Gets through from Williams. And he's pulling Morrison's head onto those punches. Noslane's seen that. Final few seconds of the third round, and this is a very, very good fight indeed in Reno, Nevada. Good round.
He's wearing down, baby. He's wearing down. You hear me? You hear me? All right, you see, you can hear me. You see that, right?
Well, in the Williams corner, trainer John Davenport, the former trainer of Lennox Lewis, cutman Eddie Aliano and Kid Sharkey, what they're saying to him is that they think he's beginning to wear Morrison down.
Now. You're getting there, okay? But I want you to go.
But is that right? There's the punch that did it. It was no more really than a jab, was it? That put Williams down. A bit worrying for him, that. Let's have a look at this from another angle. Good little punch. The best punches often travel a very short distance. That was certainly true of that one. Little jab come a hook. He just turned it at the last minute. Fourth round, Williams down twice already, but getting in with some quite good looking shots of his own. Morrison has overcome the reach disadvantage pretty well. Now Williams just trying to keep things on the outside for a while and dominate behind his jab. What will be Morrison's answer to this ploy? It's good stuff from Williams, that. That would seem to be a sensible game plan for him, really, to jab on the outside get in with quick punches and then away again, and keep on jabbing to keep Morrison off balance while he's thinking about launching those fierce hooks of his. But it's easier from here than in there. Williams is dominating this round so far. He's outboxing Morrison at the moment. These are better tactics for Carl the Truth Williams. If he could upset Morrison, it would be his way back to the fringes of the title, or maybe even nearer than that. It may be one of his last chances to really impress Carl Williams at 33 years of age, and here he is in a big headline hitting kind of fight. Otherwise, he just may degenerate into the opponent category. That's a good jab from Morrison. One thing for sure about Morrison is he can punch. Last few seconds of this round, and well, I think Carl Williams has taken this round quite easily. That's the scene in Reno, Nevada. Fascinating fight going on between Tommy Morrison and Carl the Truth Williams. Morrison, the much-hyped heavyweight hope from Kansas City in Missouri. 34 wins and 1 defeat so far. And those last 6 wins I was talking about have all come inside the distance. He holds first-round wins too, Morrison, over good names like James Tillis and Pinklon Thomas, though both of those fighters, I think, were past their sell-by dates at the time. Round 5 then. The taller Carl Williams, who boxed very well in that last session, the 4th, using his jab and reach advantage to much better effect. Right uppercut looked a good shot too. So Morrison now being set the kind of technical problems that you could say he should have been set from the beginning. Now, is this Williams' passport back into the fight? He must be trailing on the scorecards with those knockdowns. Those rounds were probably scored 10-8 against him, rather than the usual 10-9.
Sit back, look out, clean him, come on.
Morrison is down. I don't think that was a slip either. He was caught to the side of the head and will have to take a count. So the plot is thickening here. They've both been on the floor. And Williams just underlining that he's now back in this fight in a big way and catching Morrison again. And that's going to be counted as another knockdown. Down twice in the round, and the 3 knockdown rule applies here. Suddenly, Tommy Morrison is in some trouble. He's got to stay on his feet here for the last 70 seconds or so of the round. And having dominated, is he going to fall apart in the way that he did against Mercer? Williams senses that this may be the moment for him. Absolutely vital here for Morrison to somehow hang on in there. These are very important moments in his career. He has to do what an experienced pro would do in this situation and somehow just get through it. Hold on, do anything. Just get through those final 20 seconds it is now. He's come back pretty well, Morrison. But it's Williams' round in a major way. Morrison still looking to let go with his left hooks, and that's a good right as well. Good comeback from him. And another left hook. Now Williams wants to look at the referee. It's a bit of a turnaround in the last half minute of another excellent round. Terrific stuff. Really is. What are they going to say to Tommy Morrison in that corner now?
Because you let him inside the range and you wasn't throwing. The 7 is what stopped.
That was their analysis of what happened for Morrison. He got inside the range and didn't throw any punches, and he was hit a couple of times and he went down on both occasions. That looked a bit of a chopping, almost rabbit punch kind of blow from Williams, the second one. Morrison did recover. 6th round. They've both been on the floor twice now. Now, can Williams build on that? Key point in the fight, you feel. Williams has certainly taken the initiative and snatched it, stolen it back in the last 2 rounds. Can Morrison reassert himself? The script here is so fascinating, it could almost be a plot for a Rocky movie. And I say that, of course, remembering that Tommy Morrison actually featured in the film Rocky V as a kind of Sylvester Stallone protege. Since then, he's been concentrating very much on the real thing. Halfway through round 6. We're beyond that point, in fact, now, but Morrison has come back reasonably well here in the 6th round. And Williams has just let his work rate drop off a bit. Hasn't thrown out the jab so often. And he's let Morrison do more. Age, very much on Morrison's side, to the tune of 9 years, in fact. 24 plays 33. Oh, the right hand is a good one. Not according to Williams, it isn't. He shakes his head and says, I wasn't hurt. Which almost certainly means he was. And again, left hook. And Williams starting to look at the referee. For what reason, I couldn't begin to tell you, but that is often a pretty good sign for the opponent. Much better round for Morrison. He came back very, very well in that round after the problems of the previous one.
Yes. Nice round. Nice round. 3 people.
from the Tommy Morrison corner. Just making sure that there are no swellings coming up underneath the eyes. Morrison, in a poll a couple of years ago among 20 top boxing writers in the United States, was voted number 2 behind Riddick Bowe, the WBA and IBF heavyweight champion. And Lennox Lewis was put in 4th place in that poll. And I suppose that really shows you don't really want to believe everything you read. Other headlines about Morrison have included the predictable white hope or white hype question mark. Well, you'll draw your own conclusions, no doubt, about him. Haven't had a white world heavyweight champion since Sweden's Ingemar Johansson with his sensational victory over Floyd Patterson. And that is, what, well over 30 years ago now. Morrison's defence looking better there. He's got his gloves up and starting to block a few more of those jabs. Mills Lane with a typically rumbustious interruption. Never seen a referee who does so much talking in a ring as Mills Lane. You wouldn't call him low profile exactly, would you? Good ref, though.
Come on. All right, one step back. We'll take the place.
And I would think he would certainly be regarded as the number 1 in the world just at the moment. Seems to get most of the really big fights. Well, that's better from Morrison. Bobbing and weaving a little bit and presenting a bit more of a mobile target. Williams noticeably throwing his jab less often than he was a couple of rounds ago. Every so often, though, Williams will let go with a flashy cluster like that. Doubling up on the jab, well, Morrison. He certainly improved technically by quite a long way in the last couple of years. He's got more about him, better defence. Footwork's still not great. Last few seconds of the 7th round. Williams with the sharp little right as the bell goes to end it. That was one of the less eventful rounds of the contest. And I think it's getting towards the stage now where Williams, who's pretty old in heavyweight terms, not compared to George Foreman, of course, but at 33, by normal logic, you would have to question really how deep he can dig at this stage of his career. Sometimes when heavyweights get a bit long in the tooth, the ambition begins to run a wee bit dry. It's certainly given Morrison a very good run for his money here, and it's still anybody's fight, really. 7 rounds gone. Eighth round. Morrison, black shorts, who was on top early on, lost his way for a couple of rounds and was down twice in one round himself, and has come back pretty well, I would say, in the last two. Been that bit busier. And seems to have overcome the crisis. Good hand speed, Williams. Often a real test of a young heavyweight is whether he can come through rough passages in a fight and still prevail. And sometimes tell you more than putting him in with a cotton wool opponent who gets blown away in about a minute or two. And that's made this a more interesting test of Tommy Morrison, for my money anyway. Again, Williams just complaining to the referee, and Morrison may interpret that as distress signal. And now an unintentional butt is what Mills Lane is telling the judges, and that's in the event of if a cut should force a finish. Really good punches going through there from Morrison. Letting them go, the right uppercut, left hook. Oh, the guard went down. Williams is certainly giving out distress signals now. He is in serious trouble. Again, he casts a glance at the referee, and another one, almost as if he was inviting the stoppage. All Morrison now, nothing coming back, and it's been halted. No more. Tommy Morrison has prevailed. Well, he's not a Carl Williams fan, is he? That's for certain. And a cut towards the left eye as well of Carl the Truth Williams. Now, that was a pretty decent performance, I thought, from Tommy Morrison. He is not the full polished article, far from it, but that was a pretty good win over a heavyweight who's been in with some top men, is probably on the downslide now, but can still be pretty dangerous. Carl the Truth Williams certainly didn't come here to lie down and just bolster Morrison's record, that's for certain. He had Morrison on the floor a couple of times. It was a real fight. He came through a bad spell and he won it, so credit to Tommy Morrison. I've certainly been among his critics in the past, but he now would appear to be lined up for a fight against George Foreman. And that will tell us a great deal, I'm sure. This is the finish again. The left hook was what started it, then the right cross. See that glance from Williams to the referee, right uppercut. I think he was inviting the stoppage. He was telling the referee that he'd had about enough. A left hook. Now he looks at the ref again. Right cross, left. Two more. And how much more did Mills Lane want to see anyway, you wonder? And there is another look. Are you going to stop it? Answer, yes, I am. Williams is an old pro, and I think it was around this point that he was starting to think, well, I don't need too much more of this, really. If I can keep my health intact, there might be a few more paydays down the road, but certainly no glory on this occasion. You'll notice that there were no protests from Carl the Truth Williams, as there were on that night he fought for the world heavyweight title and got stopped by Mike Tyson. Bitter protests. Does well here, Morrison, though. The finish is good, isn't it? He picks the punches well, lands with all of them, doesn't flail, does well. Tommy Morrison is the winner here, and he's still only been beaten once in his career.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mills Lane steps in to stop the bout at 2 minutes 10 seconds of round number 8. the winner by TKO victory, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
It's the 35th win of Tommy Morrison's career against that one defeat, and he's now on a roll of 7 straight wins. George Foreman lies ahead for him. I wonder what Morrison thought about it all. Let's find out, shall we?
Someone like Carl, the Truth Williams, has been over just about everybody. And, students like that have a lot to offer to young studs like me.
You knock him down in the first minute of the fight. You knock him down against in the third fight. You knew that he's vulnerable to the left hook. Do you think it was going to be easy after that?
No, I knew that this is a cagey guy. He's been around for a long while. He come out there, I think, with his right hand taped to the side of his head, looking for the left hook. So at a young stage, which we're in, we tend to, each and every day, we try to add more to our arsenal, because as you rise in competition, you've only got to add more tools to your arsenal. I feel that we did that today.
5th round, maybe your worst round since the Mercer fight. You're down twice. What do you recall about that? Here,
well, I remember,
take a look right here at the monitor.
I remember getting knocked down twice. I think staying in the middle a little bit too long. And, it was a kind of delayed action shot. But, we've been in there in the gym. We're doing a lot of hard work, and the harder you work, the harder it is to quit.
Now we're going to take a look at the second knockdown. But did you know that midway through the round that one more knockdown and the fight's over?
And I don't focus on things like that. I focus on doing things right, trying to be a little more elusive. Defense is something that's hindered us from the start. A lot of people criticize our defense, but I feel that we are bringing it to a new level in the gym. We feel that we're doing the work in there also. But Carl Williams is an experienced fighter. He has great tools, and we're able to overcome it and come through with a victory.
The two things that seemed impressive were, one, that you were more relaxed. Would you agree?
Definitely. That's something that we've been focusing on quite a bit. As you go on around, you got to learn to relax, and that's something that I think George Foreman suffered from early in his career. And it's something that, as a matter of fact, I talked with George Foreman after the Mercer bout, and he offered some advice, and since then we've made some very positive strides.
We're a little too relaxed.
And maybe as your trainer is saying here, you were too relaxed. But the other thing was that you were in condition enough to see, it seemed like, to get a second win late in the fight.
Well, that's something that we also been working on. Prior to the Mercer bout, we were used to going out and knocking guys out. But as you're rising, and in the rising rounds, you start to rise in competition also. That's something that we definitely have learned. You got to relax and get to know your body. And I feel we've done that over the last year and a half. And it's coming to the top of the water.
One more question about the fight. Your trainer was yelling that you weren't throwing number 7. What is number 7?
Well, 7 is the referee. No, 7 is the jab, and that's something we try to work everything off the jab. It's the same number system that Mike Tyson used already in his career.
Let me ask you now: do you think you're ready for a championship fight?
Well, I think boxing, first of all, is the sort of sport that you never stop learning. When you go in there and you start to think that you know everything, it's usually the beginning of the end. I think that's a prime example of some of what happened to Mike Tyson. We've got a lot to learn. We're young. We have a lot of time to do it. We're looking forward to the challenges ahead.
From what you're saying also, you indicate to me that you think you would rather be better schooled and wait a while so that you can not only get a championship fight, but that you can win a championship.
Right. That's something that's very important to all of us as a team, and we wouldn't be here if we didn't think we were very capable of doing just that. We're looking forward to some of the challenges of boxing is a sport you never stop learning. You got to keep learning. And someone like George, someone like Carl Williams, is where you pick up that experience. And we're looking forward to what lays ahead.
Thank you, Tommy. Congratulations again.
It's obviously Team Morrison, isn't it? It's not I, it's we all the time. But good win here for him against Carl the Truth Williams, and the title shot may be looming.
Good fight, wasn't it? Morrison up off the floor twice to stop Williams in the 8th and keep the prospect of a spring showdown with Foreman very much alive. Morrison says of Big George that the Alex Stewart fight exposed him to everyone, and that if he beats Foreman, it's a shortcut to the world title. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one.